When my son told me I wasn't allowed to attend his wedding, I was stunned, not because of his decision alone, but because it came with a demand so absurd it made my head spin. A bill for 150,000 Brazilian reals, labeled as expenses covered by parental contribution. He said it casually, as if I were expected to pay for the privilege of staying away, and in that moment, I realized that what had once been a joyful rite of passage for our family had turned into a carefully orchestrated message. He wanted control, distance, and perhaps revenge for some imagined slight from years past. I took a deep breath, because anger would only cloud my judgment, and I reminded myself that pride and patience are often stronger than outrage. I asked him to explain the breakdown of the cost, and he rattled off numbers for catering, decorations, the venue, even transportation for friends I had never met. It felt less like a wedding and more like a commercial enterprise designed to humiliate me. I let him talk, all the while making mental notes. After the call, I spent a few nights considering my options. Could I pay it? I could, but I refused. Could I confront him? Perhaps, but confrontation without leverage rarely works with someone so determined. Instead, I devised a plan that didn't rely on anger or emotion but on strategy, patience, and the quiet force of preparation. I contacted the wedding planner anonymously, posing as a representative for a new sponsor interested in helping with expenses in exchange for media coverage. The conversation was careful, measured, planting seeds without revealing my identity or intent. Meanwhile, I reviewed every document I could find about the venue, the contracts, the catering, and discovered small clauses that had been overlooked, things that, if enforced, would protect my interests legally without me ever paying a single real. On the day of the wedding, I watched from a distance, unseen, as the ceremony unfolded. My son and his fiancée moved through the crowd with pride, unaware of the preparations I had made behind the scenes. Then came the moment I had been waiting for. The planner announced, in front of all the guests, that due to a critical oversight in the contracts, the full cost of the event would be charged to the couple's own accounts, and that all vendors had been informed to adjust their billing accordingly. The murmurs of shock swept through the crowd, and I noticed my son's face drain of color as he realized the implications of his own arrogance. His fiancée looked around helplessly, the excitement replaced by panic, and I felt no joy in their embarrassment, only a quiet satisfaction that the lesson had been delivered without anger, without confrontation, but with precision, intelligence, and patience. Later, he called me, frantic, begging to meet, to understand how I had managed it. I smiled and reminded him, gently, that respect is earned, not commanded, and that trying to control others rarely ends the way one hopes. Over time, our relationship shifted, slowly, as he came to understand that love cannot be forced, nor can it be bought, and that even when boundaries are crossed or egos inflated, cleverness, patience, and calm resolve often achieve far more than confrontation or resentment ever could. Looking back, I realized that being forbidden from attending his wedding had been a test, not of my compliance, but of my restraint, intelligence, and the ability to rise above the pettiness of pride. And in passing that test, I not only preserved my dignity, but also ensured that the consequences of actions born from arrogance would be understood without hatred, and that sometimes, the quietest victories carry the most lasting weight.